welcome to Saturday of the first week of Advent in the virtual retreat. This would be day 6, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This would be day 7. This is why this pastor does not do mathematics. So anyway, welcome to Saturday, day 7 of the Advent retreat. Now, if you've been with me all week, thank you for coming back. If you're just joining, thank you for joining. These little sessions take about 15 minutes. And for the first 5 days of this retreat, or 6 days of this retreat, I shared a song that I had written as a little intro for each week. But to be very blunt and honest with you, I went back over it and I didn't like it, so I rewrote it. So it was a new melody. See if you notice. We're walking through Advent, week 1. Slow down where you're tending to run. Tune into what the Lord has to say. With wonder and waiting, we'll pray. And I wrote a refrain. It needs one. Holy Advent, Holy Lord, your grace finds us fully restored. May we come to see Jesus adored. So today would be the last day of the first full week. Tomorrow we start Sunday for week 2. So this is our last weekday. Hopefully you're having a strong weekday. If you notice that I like puns. If you haven't noticed, stay tuned to a priest near you. We come today to Saturday of week 1, and the Lord is with us, and we are with him. This is the last day of our one candle wreath here in this little studio of St. Martin of Tours with our lovely baby grand piano, which is why I'm doing all of these here. One of the things we find in Advent is that we're thinking a lot about Christmas in the past, and that helps to form our Christmas in the present and hope for our Christmases of the future. I think that's why Dickens' A Christmas Carol has the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. We don't need ghosts. We have the Holy Spirit. And so today we ponder in these days of Advent. And one of the things I like to do in Advent is try to go back to the time right before the birth of Christ and wonder, what would that be like? You know, we're so used to our technology in our times. In fact, you wouldn't be watching this if we didn't have technology. And so we're used to being able to reach each other electronically, especially during this time of pandemic where it's not always safe or hardly ever safe for us to reach out to each other in person, except for the corona high. I always say to people when I stand 8 feet away from them with my mask on, before and after mask, corona high. On the way out, corona bye. Thanks for coming. I wrote a song a number of years ago called Beam Me Back to Bethlehem. Now, I will admit to you that I am not a Trekkie, but I kind of like that idea of beam me back, Scotty, beam me up. You know, if the Lord would only beam us up to heaven, but that's not his plan. We have to walk the earth and serve him. So this song kind of helps us to look back and reflect on the situation of Bethlehem 2,000 years ago. And we look ahead as well. When the day comes that the cell phone and the iPod are obsolete, when the gigabyte sped up the beat. We must not despair from space station cares, for when it's Advent, we can retreat. And we can say, beam me back to Bethlehem, to the shepherd's fields of green. No technology can improve upon God's original manger scene. Transport me to newborn Jesus, cuddled and swaddled in bands of white. Have a high faith, low-tech Christmas, as the angel choirs fill the night. Beam me back. Now, we don't want to go back because we've never been there. And how can you go where you've never been without the help of God? But what we want to do is reflect upon simpler times, especially this year, when we are literally, in many ways, being forced to simplify our grandiose plans. And sometimes I think Advent becomes an ongoing meeting of, and at least in our minds, maybe in our emails and our texts to family and friends, an ongoing meeting to plan, what will we do for Christmas? Here's what we can do. Ask the Lord to beam us back to Bethlehem. Now in Advent, I actually changed the first verse to say, when it's Advent, we can retreat. The lyric on the recorded song is, when it's Christmas, we'll all retreat. Because there is that reflective nature in the human being that we need to foster as we walk through these days of Advent. And sometimes I think we really get caught up in almost, as I say in the second verse of the song, making false gods of our sciences. And no disrespect to the medical people we have, who are the heroes of our times with this COVID-19. But sometimes we talk about science like it's all-knowing and divine. Science, I was once told, is an art, and like songwriting, it's never quite done. That's why I rewrote my Advent song after the first several days of this retreat. And God gives the minds to scientists to be able to help us to study, to research. We keep praying for all those who are researching the vaccines around the world. Lord, please give the kind of wisdom and knowledge and understanding needed for those who can help to keep us safe from this, sorry about my microphone, safe from this dread disease, and for treatments for those who have it. God gives the brilliance of mind to some to help to discover those things that will help people to be healed. So please, God, let that happen. So we need to be aware that with the grace of the incarnation, which we anticipate and wait for in these days of Advent. For those of you who are going to comment on this video and say, he skipped ahead to Christmas. No, Advent does point to Christmas, and it also talks about the Lord's second coming. And when he comes, we don't want him to think that we worship technology. Do we? I don't. Should we make false gods of our sciences and inflate with puffed up pride then humanity's greatest vanity can leave the barn doors flung open wide? So scroll back to the place of incarnation grace, where our nature was sanctified. Lead me back to Bethlehem, to the shepherd's fields of green. No technology can improve upon God's original manger scene. Transport me to newborn Jesus and cuddled and swaddled in bands of white. Have a high faith, low-tech Christmas, as the angel choirs fill the night. Praying on this Saturday of the first week of Advent, let me encourage you to pray with me for all those who are in this time of preparation, getting ready to decorate their homes. Now, certainly your Advent wreath is up and the first candle is lit, right? And in our churches, the Advent wreath is growing in light. But many people begin to slowly put some of the decorations up, may not even light them all until it's Christmas. Can you do that? Can you wait that long? Anyway, I wrote in my book, Coming Home to Christmas Through Advent, I wrote a section of prayers, and one of them is a Christmas decorator's litany. Did you ever pray before you put your decorations up? You don't just pray that the lights will all light. You don't just pray that the hook you hung on the wall will hold the wreath that you want to put there. No. You pray that the act of decorating, the creative act of putting together things like your nativity scene, hanging ornaments and garlands, stringing lights, will bring light inside, the light of Christ. So pray with me now the Christmas decorators litany, and your response is, at the wonder of your birth. Let's rehearse that. At the wonder of your birth. So here, the first part of the prayer is for assembling a nativity scene or a creche. O Christ, as Christmas nears, may we assemble the manger with prayerful hearts at the wonder of your birth. O Christ, as Christmas nears, may we be reminded by these sheep that we are your flock at the wonder of your birth. O Christ, these shepherds remind us to pray for priests, deacons, and bishops at the wonder of your birth. O Christ, as Christmas nears, may devotion to Our Lady grow this Advent with our every yes at the wonder of your birth. O Christ, as Christmas nears, may St. Joseph's example of humility and holy silence inspire our days at the wonder of your birth. May the Bethlehem star point us always to heaven's glories at the wonder of your birth. I'm going to skip around because we only have 2 minutes left. A prayer while hanging ornaments and garland. O Jesus, who participated in sacred festivals, in your responses with the abiding gift of faith, help us to recall that human life is as fragile as the ornaments we hang, with the abiding gift of faith. O Jesus, who participated in sacred festivals, help us find ways to work for Christian unity as we string the garland with the abiding gift of faith. O Jesus, who participated in sacred festivals, help us see the church as the center of our lives as we assemble Christmas villages with the abiding gift of faith. O Jesus, who participated in sacred festivals, help us discover new ways to enter deeply into feasts and holy days with the abiding gift of faith. O Jesus, who participated in sacred festivals, help us to cherish our sacred spaces and participate joyfully in the liturgy with the abiding gift of faith. Beam me back to Bethlehem, to the shepherd's fields of green. No technology can improve upon God's original manger scene. Transport me to newborn Jesus, cuddled and swaddled in bands of white. Have a high faith, fa la 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 low-tech Christmas, fa la la la, as the angel choirs fill the night. Have a blessed last day of the first week of Advent.